ES Audio.
Hi, I'm John Weeks, and this is the Evening Standard's Tech and Science Daily. Coming up, was the September heatwave caused by global warming? But first, ahead of tomorrow's 2023 Apple event, our tech reporter Saqib Shah says we're not expecting any significant upgrades from the iPhone 15.
So we're not seeing any sort of major design change. We're seeing little changes here in the materials it uses and the way that the phones are produced, but we're not seeing any sort of dramatic design change like we have in the Android world.
All the rumoured updates for the iPhone appear to be the usual incremental changes to the camera's processor and materials, along with the change to USB-C. And there are a few cool new features coming to iOS 17, like live voicemail transcripts and autocorrect finally recognising swear words. But Saqib said we're unlikely to see a folding device from Apple, like the ones we've seen from Samsung and Motorola.
And that's something that Apple has yet to embrace, and we're not really expecting it to do that this year as well. But there are signs that it could possibly do that in the future. But again, the kind of speculation around that is it'll probably release some sort of folding tablet rather than a phone.
Apart from the iPhone, new AirPods and an Apple Watch are expected to be revealed. But there's one more device Saqib reckons we could learn more about.
Maybe, just maybe, I think we might see another look at the Vision Pro headset. So we might see some of the new kind of eye-catching apps that people have produced, and we might find out exactly when it will be released and how much it will cost.
Meta is apparently gearing up to create its own artificial intelligence chatbot, which it hopes will be as sophisticated as OpenAI's GPT-4. According to a report by the Wall Street Journal, the social media giant is stocking up on NVIDIA H100 AI training chips that will allow it to train up its own AI chatbot. Back in June, as you would have heard here on Tech and Science Daily, it was reported that Meta was working on a chatbot for Instagram with multiple personalities to choose from. But Meta declined to reveal whether or not it was true when developer Alessandro Paluzzi claimed he discovered a chat with an AI feature on the platform. Now, Brits, put down the fans, step away from the fridge. The heatwave is over. And the past 7 consecutive days with highs of more than 30 degrees Celsius is actually a record for September.
Even in the past, the record for the highest number of days over 30 at any time in the month was 5, and that was non-consecutive days. So to get 7 consecutive days with such high temperatures in September is really unusual.
Senior meteorologist at the Met Office, Alex Burkill, told us this prolonged heatwave was caused by a blocking area of high pressure to the east of the UK, preventing weather changes coming in from the west.
And because of the position of it just to the east of us, it was dragging in this hot air from the south. And so we had the perfect ingredients for a fine, sunny, hot spell because we had the perfect wind direction and we had the perfect weather itself.
But can this record September heatwave be attributed to climate change?
It's everything that climate scientists have warned about, in as much as our summers are going to be hotter and more extreme. And that's the case in this example, in as much as I think without a highly altered climate, it would have been near impossible to have such an exceptionally hot period at this time of year.
Saturday was the hottest day of the year so far, with highs of 32.7 degrees Celsius recorded at Heathrow Airport. But relax, it's due to be much cooler this week. BMW is set to reveal a Mini win for the UK later, that it's building the new electric Mini in Oxford. The German car brand is expected to announce a £600 million investment in the Oxford Cowley plant, which will transform into a fully electric car production plant in 2030. From 2026, though, 3- and 5-door versions of the Mini, as well as a new crossover, will be produced there, with an expected range of petrol, diesel, and electric versions. The next Mini Electric is expected to be released next year. It's thought the top spec model could have a 54 kilowatt-hour battery with a range of up to around 290 miles and 215 brake horsepower. Coming up, why filmmaker Tim Burton has hit out at AI-generated art. Stay up to date with the latest tech and science news. Hit follow during the break. Welcome back. Britain's maritime industry wants an extra £2 billion from the government to help it decarbonise the sector. Shipping is responsible for around 3% of global greenhouse gas emissions, more than air travel. Maritime UK said the money would help the industry develop green fuels, improve port infrastructure, and create new types of technology to reduce carbon emissions. The industry body says it's come up with ideas that have a good chance of decarbonising the sector quickly, but it needs the extra cash to make them a reality. Meanwhile, engineers at the University of Exeter are carrying out work of their own to move vehicles, including ferries, fishing boats, trains and tractors, away from diesel engines. Teams are currently working with companies to fit hydrogen propulsion systems to workboats and develop emissions-free road rail repair vehicles. The University's Centre for Future Clean Mobility has also built a new zero-emissions dynamometer facility, which allows them to design and test powertrain systems without the need to build an entire vehicle. And finally, Tim Burton is the latest to hit out against AI-generated art. It's after BuzzFeed used AI to generate images of Disney characters in his own Halloween-esque style, including a sleeping beauty with a pale white face, dressed in black with stitches in her cheeks, and a Pocahontas running through a Sleepy Hollow-like haunted forest. In an interview with The Independent, Tim said some of them were very good, but that didn't mean he enjoyed the experience of seeing his own artistry cloned and imitated. The Beetlejuice filmmaker has described it as like a robot taking your humanity. You're up to date. Come back at 4 o'clock and search for the Leader podcast for the latest news from the Evening Standard. We'll be back tomorrow afternoon at 1. See you then.